Hi guys, welcome to the next lesson. In this lesson, we are going to be making a comparison between heroes and villains to see if they fit in the same scene, and also if they complement each other. We're going to point out that villains don't just have to be people. They can be human or supernatural. But we've also got animals that can be something that's a little supernatural or not. Maybe we have a dog or a shark, an alien. We also have technological beings, but I didn't really write anything about them because now I want to get a villain from the image that we have here in front of us. I'm going to make the villain of this little main guy we have here, that's a dog. It's going to be like an evil dog. To do this, we are going to choose a dog breed that's going to be related to the characteristics that we've seen along the course. I've chosen a kind of character basing myself on the image of an English bulldog. As you can see, he's got his bottom over bite there, those big teeth, and the wrinkles that these dogs have on the face that can be kind of interpreted as a sort of anger expression. In the case of when we are drawing dogs, as we can't emphasize the brows or the nose very much, or even the makeup, what we are going to do is try to augment the expressiveness in the eyes. And we are going to add in some details that can help us when we are imagining what an evil dog is going to be. I've put in this scar in the ear as if it's been bitten off a little bit. In this way, what we are going to see is that we have a dog that fights a lot. In the case of the decoration that we can add, I've decided to put in a color with those spikes, so we can give this guy some more aggressiveness to his appearance. And, well, using the structure and the anatomy that an English bulldog has, I'm going to be making a dog that has a lot of muscles. Just to make it a little bit more comical, I'm going to give him some legs that are smaller than they should be, in comparison with those muscles he has. Look at them! Well, as you can see, we are going to be finishing the first villain character. And we can see that we have this dog with an aggressive attitude that fits with our first main character. The second one here, I've decided to interpret it as a boy that might be the smartest kid in the class, or even an adventurer. The villains we can use here might be adults or animals. I've decided to use a human. The human adult is probably going to be good or a kid. We could use a kid or a teacher. But I've decided to use a kid for my antagonist, so he's going to be the typical school bully. We are going to be seeing how to represent the school bully, obviously without losing that childish look in the character's physique. So to start, even though we said that the nose should be sharp, in this case I'm going to make the nose rounder. However, I'm going to give him the smile we were talking about before. Some thick and arched brows are also going to help us finish off our character. In the same way, in this case and in this occasion, since as we've tried to make a child, what I don't want to do is to make a child that's going to be pretty thin. This character is going to stand out because of this brute strength. So, seeing as he's a villain, whose evilness and power is going to be in his strength, it would be weird to make a villain that's weak and skinny, or with skinny arms and stuff. For now, I'm going to try and give him that bad boy look. For this, I'm going to give him that spiggy hair with the buzz cut on the side. I'm going to try and darken his look a little bit more. We are going to be giving it all more depth with the brows, and in this case I want the villain to be a little bit rounder. I want to give him that look so that he is more like of a dog, stronger and sportier, something of a mix between circles and squares. So, we're going to be using the typical hero structures, using the expression and the features that we've been discussing while we were drawing. I'm going to be giving him like a football t-shirt, a big one. Well, as you can see, the little details can help us to complete a little bit more our drawing. For example, I gave him that number 1 just to be able to say like, I'm the number 1. However, our main character, as you can see, that has little crown on his t-shirt, I don't know, it gives us that feeling of, oh, like we were seeing these characters and we are going to be able to see who is the good guy and who is the bad guy. For example, with our villain, what we are going to do now is taking out his number 1 and we are going to give him something else, because it was a bit too obvious, because that number is going to help to know who is the best of the two. So, I changed it for a kind of lightning bolt. Another thing that we could use as a visual aid would be the plaster we put on his right arm. Expressiveness is something that's essential when we are making a character. It's not just external structures, because we can make a big and strong character or a villain that's going to be smaller and weaker and stuff. So, it's all about the behavior that you are going to give off when you are designing your character. Well, here we would have our evil bully dude. And we are going to move on to another one, our last one. In this case, as a last case, I've decided to use a girl hero. That's going to be like a fighter or something like that. For our villain, what we can choose, well, we've got the human, animal, another fighter, so I'm going to be choosing an human fighter. In this case, we're going to use a man as the antagonist, and we are going to give both of them a fighting attitude so that we are going to be complementing them. And, as I was saying before, we can see if they fit together when we are designing characters of the same style. Even though she has that menacing attitude, and we can see that her brows are kind of arched, we can see that her eyes are kind of rounded, and most of her body has circular areas, like the hair, for example, and the bands on her ankles. They serve as an aid when we want to identify who's the good character and who's the evil one. On the right, we are going to be making a more muscular man. And as you can see, we have that confident, menacing look. As I've decided to give him a kind of Asian look, we're going to be trying to play around with karate and all that stuff. Well, it's just a question of looking for the most fitting expression for our characters. I found this one and I don't like this one. So you can see that I'm trying to fit it with that Japanese style, with those old hairstyles. And I'm going to try and work a little bit with the perspective so that we can see that he's in attack position. The perspective's looking good, right? But I'm saying that I'm not doing it in the same one I did with her. So it's looking a little weird. I'm going to change it so that it's more fitting with the other one. In this way, you can adjust and scale it however you want, and this way it's going to fit with the character that you drew in the beginning. I would recommend this as a practice exercise so that you can see which are your capacities when combining two characters in one scene. And apart from being able to make a villain that's good enough, well, so to say, also to be next to our character so that both of them fit in the scene. As you can see, he also has a tattoo and the girl has hers too. So they are these little details that one by one they are building up and we are making a more enriched character that's more complete. I hope this has helped and that you have enjoyed this lesson. See you next time. Bye!